we're gonna see. Asmongold just ended Hasan by Decoy voice 5 days ago. Yeah, this is about Hasan, Hamas, Diddy, Bin Laden, Piker. We'll just look at him. We'll just look at this and see what actually happened here.
This will go down as the most hilarious self-inflicted meltdown of all time, as what started as just a bad debate performance.
You f***ing moron! You piece of sh**!
I love his crash outs, not gonna lie. His crash outs are generational. That is the best clip that came out of this whole H3 debate. I love it. This is the best clip easily.
What? Because Iraq and the pan-Arabic nationalist movements.
Dude, you screaming and grandstanding doesn't mean you're right.
Iraqi government
spiraled into potential jail time.
I might literally be going to jail
on their hands.
Now, although his streaming platform Twitch can protect him by apparently...
I'm getting word that it is not possible to report Hasanabi on Twitch. You will receive an internal error. People say it was a bug, but I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm aware of this, that this happened. This whole, you cannot report him. But I'm gonna be honest here. I do not think that this was a bug. I just think Twitch protected him from getting reported. That's all it is.
Blocking all attempts to report his violations. They can't protect him from customs and border protection, as they stopped him when re-entering the country.
They're asking me about Trump, they're asking me about, like, Hamas, and...
Why is this 45-year-old man, a man's head so small in comparison to his body? I don't know why. Yeah, I know he's not 45, but it's a funny joke that I picked up because of Tectone, so there it is. It is what it is.
Do you think Hamas is a terror group or a resistance group? Like, he just kept asking over and over again. Depending on how I answer those questions, like, I'm going to jail. Because he left, went away for like 35 minutes, came back, and then he asked, like, actionable items. But a lot of the that, like, the Ethan Kleins of the world have, like, cried about over and over again were unironically brought up in that conversation. The very
well, if you say weird as fuck questionable shit that might you know, that might threaten national security, what do you think would happen? What do you think would happen? Lisa, you can pinpoint the second he starts spazzing out, and now true. Political questions at airport, then they're not letting him, don't want to let him in anymore.
The very fact that that was like a point of contention that could have gotten me arrested is insane. And I genuinely in that moment was thinking, like, these fucking dumb slop tubers are actually playing with fucking fire.
Now it sounds like Hasan...
Yeah, the slop tubers are playing with fire. The slop tubers are actually absolutely beating your ass. You're getting your ass beat from all sides currently.
Is blaming all the YouTubers that cover his content as to why the country would be...
And I know you were in the German brothel with underage girls. We know. I wonder what you did there.
Concerned with his comments, conveniently ignoring it's his own words and actions that caused this. Now, I'm not gonna do a deep dive into why it's believed he supports terror, as insanely, me just showing his clips could be enough to ban a channel like mine. So I just want to talk about how the once top political streamer on Twitch is basically being taken down by a guy they call the Roach King. As
The Roach King! I love the Roach King. He's great. He's great. It's just so funny that... It's just so funny that Hasan is jelly of the dude. It's just so funny. Wait, he did? Apparently people were saying that he was. On Twitter at least. I cannot verify the whole thing, but apparently that's the case. But hi Lumpy, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good. The Roach King with his dead red alarm clock. And him falling through the ceiling.
Asmongold, who was a friend of the channel, spoke about the implication that he was involved in Hasan's detainment.
I take absolutely no responsibility in Hasan getting detained, but I wish I did. The fact is that he does support propaganda. Would you want the TSA and the people that are vetting the individuals coming inside of our country to do additional questioning towards people that have a record for supporting known groups?
And also addresses how Hasan isn't a journalist, but a Twitch streamer.
Sometimes I do actually do journalism.
You do as much journalism as game journalists. None. Zero. You're not a journalist. You look like you own a strip club. That's it.
Journalism is when you tell people that they're like anime characters. I don't want to be too particularly mean, but if Hasan was as big of a journalist as he claims he would be, maybe Bernie Sanders would sit down with him for more than 15 minutes. Not trying to be mean, but you're a
not trying to be mean. If you were a journalist, Bernie Sanders would sit down with you. Not trying to be mean, huh?
Streamer. Stop trying to act like you're a journalist.
As Zach's calm demeanor really highlights how Hasan isn't.
Can all of you just collectively shut your stupid fucking woke mouths up? Is that okay? Can we just shut the fuck up collectively?
Loud lies lose to quiet truth. That's gotta be the tagline to this channel now, as it really seems the more angry and emotional you get, the more incorrect the...
Yeah, I feel like in the political sphere, that's just me. Okay, so I feel like in like the political sphere, if you become loud and emotional, you lose. Maybe it's just me, that's just me, but all political debates that I see, that if you become loud and emotional, you lose. Just what I looked at, wishing for the Zach guy to become popular one day. What do you mean?
Core of your argument is, and as Hasan continues to tumble down the path of irrelevance, the more he's going to attack anybody laughing at him as he descends, as he's mad at Ethan's coverage of his crash out.
And you barely get 3.4 million views on it. What a fucking flop, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, but when you look at the like-dislike ratio, then it's much better than whatever your shitty content cop that you uploaded together with iCogs and Jabba the Hutt and Denims and whoever that other dude was that I don't know the name of because he's so irrelevant that nobody has ever brought him up again. It is what it is.
What is this? Currently sitting at minus 50,000. Oof. Oof.
That's... Bro has like millions, right? 50k is not that much, especially if you consider that the guy was on a hiatus, as far as I'm aware. H3H3 was on a hiatus, so there's that. In addition to that, he might have, because, you know, he called out you, he might have lost the dudes that he didn't want there to begin with, right? The Hasans of this world. So I don't think, like, this is a major loss. He basically just filtered.
Saying barely
like 50k with like in comparison to like 5.61k
0.4 million views just says you were going to criticize his view count before you saw his view count, as it basically picks up right off when he left YouTube in terms of views. And
that... Wait, he hasn't made a video in 4 years? So this was his first one after 4 years? That is that's actually pretty good. He's doing pretty well. Like, that is comparable. 3.6 4 years ago, 3.5 3 months ago. That's still pretty good.
And the whole losing 50,000 subscribers isn't necessarily a bad thing after a hiatus when you have over 5 million. It just shows his fundamental misunderstanding of how YouTube works. And to briefly break it down, you don't want to have subscribers that don't want to watch your videos, because whenever someone sees you in their feed and doesn't want to watch you, it just tells the Google algorithm that this is a video that nobody likes. So sometimes shedding subscribers...
That's also true. Like, you don't want the people that don't watch your stuff anyways, so why even have them there? You feel me? Just makes no sense to have them there then. Not that hard to understand.
Subscribers can be a positive, especially when pivoting content style. But again, Hasan wasn't making fun of Hasans Views or
Yeah, like some people, they change their style, right? Or they change the game. For example, Tectone lost a lot of subscribers when he stopped playing Genshin. You lose some, you win some. Like, this is... I think he knows how YouTube works. I think he's just trying to roll with this to, like, improve his narrative, whatever it is. To push his narrative.
subscriber numbers, he was just projecting his own insecurities, as he's currently losing viewership to Asmongold.
YouTube 12 hours, 580,000 views. Yeah, Trump finally answers the big question, 992,000 views. This is just his clip channel. Let me show you his other channel, his YouTube channel. My honest reaction to Content Cop. About this Content Cop. He can't stop talking about me.
What?
Asmongold is officially North America's most watched streamer so far in 2025. He currently has more hours watched than Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed.
To which Asmon turned into more content.
Let me show you his other channel.
He's saying my channel's doing really well. Yeah, thanks, man.
Bro just complimented him. That's funny.
Future fans. I mean, that's +2, right?
Peaceful protest got so much worse. 22,000.
I think it's funny.
22 hours ago. There it is.
They love it. That's my favorite part about this, is he's trying to make me out like I'm this awful guy. They think that is funny. Yeah, there it is. I mean, honestly, I'm glad. Because, like, you know, for a long time, you know, Hasan would bring guests over and show them terrorist propaganda.
I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shoot. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
And now he's just complaining about my YouTube channel. So I actually think this is a pretty big improvement.
And as someone that also creates content that Asmongold also reacts to,
True. I feel like Hasan is just really jelly that Asmongold is just more successful with his I don't know, with what he's doing, and people are agreeing more with his takes. Because let's face it, Asmongold kind of says what the average person thinks, right? Not like people who are Hasan fans, right? Those are in the minority by far. That guy got under Hasan's skin. So real.
getting 8 times the views. I find it hilarious that this angers Hasan so much, as that's just the online content game. Hasan reacts to Fox News the same way Zach reacts to you, and if you don't like what he has to say, don't watch it. And if you're jealous of his success, just use it as motivation to elevate yourself, as spreading lies about him to your audience does nothing.
India had Gandhi. It's the country of peace and harmony. Asmongold had a fairly balanced take. Dude, Asmongold would literally laugh at you being ethnically if you're Indian, okay? He thinks...
What the fuck do you mean? Asmongold has never said anything like that. Never. Not once.
Brown people are inferior. What the f are you talking about?
He never said that either. He never said that. How do you... Maybe you're projecting.
I think they're great people. I'd love to go to India. I think their culture is great. I wouldn't necessarily eat some of the street food there, but...
Classic. A classic. I wouldn't either. I've seen some stuff. I've seen some horrid things.
I have a tremendous respect for them, and I think that it's totally unfair, the amount of negative sentiment and negative criticism they get here in America because of call centers over there. I think it's total bullshit.
They do it in Europe too, by the way. We have a negative sentiment around them here in Europe too. So it's a bit weird, to be honest. I like the Indians. Except for Mudahar at times. Bro really has lukewarm takes. I don't want to be, or is a little bit of a hypocrite. I don't want to be a drama, but I'm going to talk about drama. Hasan and his ethnically cleansed genocide apartheid slogans are tiring. Yep, they are. Yeah, I mean, bro literally said the opposite of what Hasan said. I don't know, like I said, he just lies. And the good thing is, here, at least for Hasan is, he doesn't just, like, say the lies, like, to, like, random people that have nothing to do with him, right? He says it to his audience, so his audience does the weird shit for him. Really interesting.
And I was one of the only people that has actively defended Indians from the, zeitgeist of Indian, anti-Indian rhetoric.
Which just goes to show how, again, whether it's view counts or views towards specific people, I don't think Hasan actually has anything to stand on. He just wants to label anybody that endangers his relevance as evil people do not listen to. As even at his in-person appearance, he's still talking about Asmon.
At first I wanted people to talk about politics because I thought like there were a lot of progressive people out there. And then Asmongold became the largest political content creator on the platform, and some people know who that is, but
bro is rent-free in this man's head. Does Asmongold even fit inside his head? Look in comparison to the man. Why does he have such a small head in comparison to his body? He needs some head growth. That's crazy.
He's a right-wing commentator now, the biggest right-wing commentator in North America, actually. And now I'm like, maybe...
The problem is, bro, is not even right-wing. Asmongold likes Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is not right-wing. The problem is, the people they say are right-wing aren't right-wing. You just went so far up left that that everything that is not left as you are is right-wing. Because you don't understand nuance.
Maybe don't talk about politics. It's better if they stay apolitical.
I really wonder if Hasan regrets switching from his original bro persona to this holier-than-thou leftist activist that's always one misstep away from being cannibalized by his own. But I guess that's why this crash out is so satisfying, as I believe he was just on cruise control with his content, constantly trying to cater to an increasingly more extreme audience he's cultivated, not understanding that just because he's Twitch's favorite streamer that gets absurd levels of preference and protection, that he wouldn't face actual consequences.
Yeah, remember, they, Twitch celebrated his birthday, by the way. They literally sent him a video of, like, congratulating him and stuff for his, birthday. It is crazy. It is actually wild how much Twitch supports this moron. So according to Hasan's logic, any country defending against terrorists is a terror state. So I guess Philippines is a terror state for defending against terrorists multiple times. Pretty much. Yep.
Consequences from how extreme his statements have become. Meanwhile, you got the Roach King casually lapping you in your own field with zero risk of going to prison.
How is this crash out still going? I don't even think it's begun yet. I think it's only the beginning. This is it.
Loud lies lose the quiet truth. So don't let them hide everything else we find. Make sure you're subscribed with those notifications on.
That's pretty much the end. I feel like, you know, it's just very simple to me. If somebody supports a terrorism, they should not have a platform. And I just think Hasan is incredibly jelly that people just prefer Asmongold and Asmongold's takes. Because that's what the average person thinks. Zach is loving the content. I mean, it's just literally him, Hasan crashing out is just free content for him. It just literally is. And he can't even defend himself because he's getting his ass beat from all sides, even his own. So there's that.